transportation problem. Okay. So what is this transportation problem is? Any guess? So transportation problem. So normally, so you can see there will be sources of supply and you can see destinations will be there. That is, as I told you in the previous classes, the product will be manufactured in some places around the globe, okay, where labor is cheap, materials are available, or they will have having some benefits by keeping the plants over. And they will be selling the product, okay, across the globe on various regions. So the parts, whatever they are manufacturing from the manufacturing plant, they need to supply to the warehouse. Okay, or they need to supply or they need to keep that into that from the warehouse, they need to give it to the vendor. So there will be multiple warehouses or multiple manufacturing plants will be spread across the areas. And from there will be similarly there will be multiple warehouses will be available. So from which warehouse or from which manufacturing plant to which warehouse or from which warehouse to the vendor, if you are supplying the product, your total cost of transportation will be minimum. Okay. So as is shown over here, you can see there will be multiple supplies like S1, S2 up to SM will be there. And there will be destinations like 1, 2 up to N also will be there. And every supply node can be connected to your destination nodes, and each destination node will vary with respect to with respect to their distance. So as and when the distance is changing, the cost involved in transporting a product from a manufacturing plant to a warehouse or from a warehouse to a delivery node is going to vary. So you need to find, okay, you need to find which is the optimum route in which the products can be transferred. That is, what is the quantity of product you can transfer from source 1 to destination 1 or from source 2 to destination 1 or source 2 to destination 2. Okay, so this is what you are primarily targeting in the case of transportation problem. So transportation problem is a special type of linear programming problem where the objective is to minimize the cost. Okay, where the objective is to minimize the cost of distributing a product from a number of sources to a number of destinations. So you can see all the nodes are connected. All the nodes can be interconnected in the case of a transportation. So you need to identify from which source to which destination it is you can transport it cheaply so that the total cost will be minimum. Okay, you can do that. Now, what is the issues here? What are the issues in both the sides? What are the issues in both the sides? See, for example, from your source 1 to your destination 1, you can see to that that will be the minimum route which incurs lowest cost. Say for example, 1 to 1
Sir,
if I want. Yes,
uh,
please.
should we calculate the minimum cost simultaneously? We should do it simultaneously, no? We can't
Yeah, you have to
do
do
it.
it. You have to do it simultaneously.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. So now I have a source one to destination one. I have find that is a minimum route which capacited lowest cost. Say for example, transporting one unit you can assume that transporting one unit from 1 to 1, it will take only cost number 10. Okay, but what is supposed to be the issue at source 1? What can be?
Question
If
once
it is
again.
a manufacturing plant, what will be the issue?
Limited production.
Pardon me?
Number of units that can be produced.
Yeah, exactly. So here the source 1 can able to deliver a particular supply. Okay, the source 1 can able to produce or can able to give you a particular supply. Okay, and your other end also destination 1, there should also have a demand for the product. Okay, see, for example, if your demand is something like say 10 units and your supply if it is 100 units, it doesn't mean that all the 100 product you need to deliver it to the demand 1. Okay, so your requirement is only 10, that the demand is only 10. So only 10 units from here you need to supply it. The plant is producing 100 units. So remaining 90, it is from this plant, it can be fed into the various other resources at a higher cost. Okay, so likewise, you have to see the supply and demand condition, and a supply and demand exactly you have to met completely in the case of transportation problem. Okay, so only that particular demand only you need to met from your supply side. Excess products, if you are trying to send to that particular destination, may not be able to hold. So whatever the demand is, exactly to cater that demand, you have to give it from your supply side. Likewise, now here the production is 100, here the demand is only 10. So the rest 90 you can send it to the other areas wherever you have a higher demand is existing. Okay,
Sir, at each destination the price will be different.
yes, at
Right.
each
Okay.
destination the price will be different.
Okay, sir.
Because normally the distance is going to vary, so accordingly it is going to vary. See, for example, you are producing a product in Coimbatore. Okay, so think of supplying it to Kochi, think of supplying it to Bangalore, and think of supplying it to Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
will it be same transportation cost?
It will be different.
Yeah, so I have only manufacturing hub at Coimbatore, but at various destinations, the cost is going to vary. Depends on your distance metrics.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but your plant has a capacity of producing 100 units, and you have a demand of 100 units in a month. So you have to run your plan for making the 100 units, and you have to send it across the various nodes of distribution. And sometimes you have one plant in Coimbatore and another plant in Mumbai. Okay, if you take that case, you have to there is a destination at Delhi where a high demand is existing for a particular product. Then you have to think of whether to send it from Delhi, from Mumbai to Delhi, or from Coimbatore to Delhi, which is cheap. Sometimes Mumbai to Delhi will be cheap, but your Mumbai plant will not have that production capacity. Say, for example, the demand for Delhi is 200 and your Mumbai plant is only having a capacity to produce 100. So from the Coimbatore, you need to sell 100 to Delhi and 100 from Mumbai to Delhi. So that's the way the demand has to be met. So you have to see to that in which route, in which way the minimum transportation cost is incurred. So basically, transportation modeling is an extension of your linear programming model, in which only we are going to see this model as a cost minimization model. So the objective function of your transportation problem is always to minimize the cost. Okay, so I can straight away write that. So the always. So the transportation model. So always your objective function, it is to minimize cost. Okay, the objective function is always to minimize the cost, and it will be followed, it will be subjected to, okay, it will be subjected to constraints. So there will be sets of constraints will be there, okay, which is normally called as supply constraint, okay, supply constraint, and there will be another set of constraints will be there, that will be called as demand constraint. Okay, so you have to solve it, you have to solve it, then only you can able to get a clear idea of this. So straight away I'll just show you a matrix. Okay, I'll just show you a matrix. I hope my screen is visible. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So you can see this is how normally the table, normally the transportation cost table will looks like. Okay, so this is a general model. So this is a general model for your transportation problem. Okay. So you can see from this table, there are three plants are there. One is plant 1, next is plant 2, and next is plant 3. And you can see there are 4 warehouses are there. Warehouse 1, warehouse 2, warehouse 3, and warehouse 4. Okay, so plant 1 can give you a total supply of S1 units. Plant 2 can deliver you a maximum supply of S2 units. Plant 3 can deliver you a maximum supply of S3 units. Okay, that is about the plant. Plant 1, plant 2, plant 3 is restricted with supply S1, supply S2, and supply S3. Similarly, I have 4 warehouses. Warehouse number 1, where the total demand or capacity will be D1. I have a warehouse number 2, where the demand or capacity is as D2. And 3 at warehouse 3, where the demand equals D3. And you can see there is a 4th warehouse is also there, where the maximum demand is D4. Okay, and inside the matrix, you can see the elements C11, C1 to 2, C1 to 3, C1 to 4, etc. So C indicates your cost. Okay, cost of transporting 1 unit from plant 1 to warehouse 1. C11 means cost of transporting 1 unit from plant 1 to warehouse 1. Similarly, C1 to 2 means cost of transporting 1 unit from plant number 1 to warehouse number 2. Similarly, 1 to 3 means cost of transporting 1 unit from plant 1 to warehouse 3. Similarly, 1 to 4 means transporting 1 unit from plant 1 to warehouse 4. Likewise, you can see cost matrix data will be provided to you in all your transportation table. So C34 means cost of transporting 1 unit from plant 3, okay, from plant 3 to warehouse number 4. Plant 3 to warehouse number 4. Okay. Now, what will be the next one? What will be the next one? you need to transport some quantity from plant 1 to 1. Then only you will be able to know what is the cost of total transportation. Am I right? From plant 1 to 1. This is the cost is given. Now the number of quantity whatever you need to transfer, that you have to take into account. So that I will mark it as X11, X12, X13, X14. So this is X21. This will be X22. This will be X23. This will be X24. This will be X31. This will be X32. This will be X33 and this will be X34. That is, you are moving X11 quantity from plant 1 to warehouse 1. Okay, and you are moving X1 to 2 quantity from plant 1 to warehouse 2. Okay. So now what will be the total transportation cost? Now what will be the total transportation cost?
Add all the C11, C12, C13.
See,
Sir, what is X11, sir? Number of products, sir?
X11 is the number of quantity what you are transferring from plant 1 to warehouse 1.
Okay, then X11 C11 plus X12 into C12.
Yeah,
like that,
right.
everything.
Yes. So total cost of transportation will be X11 into C11 plus, okay, X1 to 2 into C1 to 2 plus X1 to 3 into C1 to 3, okay, plus up to last one X3 to 4 into C3 to 4. Okay, so now what will be the objective function? Now what will be our objective function?
Total transportation cost is minimum.
So objective function will be
Minimize that function, sir. Total transportation cost.
So minimize Z equals the top one X11 into C11 plus X1 to 2 into C1 to 2 plus up to X34 into C34. Okay. So if a problem like this comes, how many decision variables will be there?
12.
Yeah, okay. So now objective I have written. Now what will be the next one? After objective function, what will be the next one?
Constraints.
Constraints. Okay, now please tell me the constraints here.
Demand should be less than supply.
Demand should be less than supply.
Supply
No.
should be less than demand.
No.
Sir,
What is
X1,
basically?
each
Yeah, please.
column
Carry
should
on.
be equal to the demand and each row should be less than or equal to supply.
Why less than?
Demand can be less than supply, no sir.
Pardon me?
But it can be, demand could be less than supply. We are having more supply than the demand, maybe in that case.
No, it should
S1 is greater than
be
equal to
You have to
X11, C11, that thing.
I didn't get you.
Sir, X11 plus X12 plus X13 plus X14 less than equal to S1.
Why less than?
Because supply should be greater than demand, sir. Otherwise, it won't work right.
No, we will always go for demand equal to supply condition only. Okay, we will produce the goods which equals to the supply only, which equals to the demand only. So demand and supply should be equal.
But in normal case, that won't happen, no, sir.
Which one?
Like normally, if you take any other cases, application in the real world, supply should be always greater than demand only, right?
More or less, if it is something like a fast moving product, then only that case will work. In all the production conditions, that will not be suit. There are production units are there where only when once the order is placed, then only the production will start. Okay, they may not keep anything in the stock. Only when once you place an order, only according to the customary needs only, they will plan the produce. If you are making something like a fast moving item which always will have a market, then only you will be going for excess productions. Otherwise, wherever the case is, you will always go for demand equal supply only. And in order to maintain that, something like some defective parts may come, etc., to compensate that, you may always may take some 5 or 10% excess in with you in the production line, but that is basically the inventory that we will discuss it later. Okay, but normally, as in the case of any production units, they will be interested in making demand equals supply, and the demand itself is a forecasted demand. Okay, it may not be the actual demand, it is a forecasted demand. So whoever is making that demand calculation, they will be anticipating the variations, and accordingly only they will be telling you the demands. Okay, so you might have studied in the industrial engineering or in the supply chain about the various demand forecasting techniques. Okay, so according to that condition only, the demands they will be demand data they will be generating. Okay, so always we'll go for demand equals supply. So in that case, whatever you have told, x11 plus x12 plus x123 plus x14
Equal to S1.
less than or greater than conditions will be always okay. So first three constraints we will have in terms of supply. Okay,
Four
so
constraints.
yeah, so we will have supply constraints. So supply constraints will be x11 plus x12 plus x13 plus x14 should be equals S1. Similarly, x21 plus x22 plus x23 plus x24 equals S2. Similarly, x31 plus x32 plus x33 plus x34 equals S3. Can you correlate?
One more doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if all the constraints are equal to, then like there is no common like between any of the constraints, right? So that we can't take the minimum or maximum if it is just a, straight line or plane.
I didn't get you.
Like if it is a 2D, if I consider a 2D thing, like graphically, if it's only equal to means only a line, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So if we consider all the constraints, if it is a line, we can't find any minimum maximum. If it is nothing like less than or equal to or greater than equal symbol is not there.
Okay. So this anyhow you will not be able to solve it by using graphically. Okay, you have plenty of variables are existing here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Even if we
it is
use differentiation method also, minimum or maximum, if you want to find means there should be less than equal.
so some I'll come to that part. I'll come to it. Okay. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
I'll come to it. So this is about the supply constraint. So what do you want for equals S1? Okay, this equals S2, this equals. Similarly, you will have a demand constraint also. So that will be in your column Y. So there will be 4 demand constraints will be there. So after supply constraint, you will have demand constraint. So demand constraint will be X11 plus X21 plus X31 equals D1. Similarly, you will have X12 plus X22 plus X32 equals D2. Similarly, X13 plus X23 plus X33 equals D3, and finally X14 plus X24 plus X34 equals D4. Okay, so row wise you have supply, and column wise you have demand constraint. So you have totally, in this case, now you can see we have something like 7 constraints are there. Okay, 7 constraints are there, and objective function is also there, where nearly 12 unknown variables are also there. Okay, now how to solve? How to solve? Is it possible to solve?
Is possible, I think so. Sir, S1 is equal to D1.
It is possible to solve, but manual calculations are not possible. You need some programs and programming language for this problem. Okay, if a problem comes like this, you can apply the simplex methods and you can solve it. But for doing that, you have to go for some computers or some kind of programming languages to make the codes to solve it.
Sir,
So
can
how to
we
solve it
convert
is
this into only a matrix form? So that it's easily to solve in softwares.
convert into
Matrix.
Yeah, however you like, you can try. See, even metrics also, from metrics also solving this the homogeneous equation solving only will be done in the case of metrics also. So you can.
Okay.
So you have seen the objective function, the objective, and the constraints we have set. So this is how a typical problem looks like that we have seen. Okay. So demand and supply we have seen. We have written the equation for the total transport function, and then we have moved into the demand and supply constraint. Now this way, if you want to solve it as a linear programming, you can solve. You have to make the codes and you can solve. Okay. So it is not so as easy to solve linear programming. Okay. So that is what we have discussed. So how to solve this?
Sir, by using assumptions, sir. For example, for a particular type of product, we are assuming supply to be equaling supply equaling demand.
Okay.
And we could equate them so that some of the existing variables get cancelled, so that we would be actually reducing the number of variables.
Okay. So yeah, I'll come to it. So we can see this is the mathematical model we have already discussed. So I have just given you a detailed one. Okay, you have to note down this also. This I didn't add over the final constraint that all xij should be greater than or equal to 0. Got it? So this is a simplified form. Okay, the exact form I have shown over you on the other slide. Yeah. So now to solve this, okay, linear programming is a little bit problem for us. So we'll go for some other methods. The easiest methods are available to solve the transportation model. So that is all the transportation model, that two-step. Okay, it is not, you can say it's a two-step process. First you have to identify the basic feasible solution. Okay, so first you have to identify the basic feasible solution, and then you have to check whether this basic feasible solution is optimum or not. The basic solution is optimum or not, or from the further iterations over here, the problem will self-evolve. Okay, the problem will self-evolve to the optimum one. Okay, to the optimum one. Okay, so there are two steps. First one, you have to identify a basic feasible solution. Next one, you have to find the optimum solution. So this basic feasible solution you can calculate by using three techniques. Okay, any one you can employ. The first one is called northwest corner rule. Okay, northwest corner rule. The next one, that is called as minimum or least cost method. So MCM is minimum cost method. Sometimes it is also called as least cost method, MCM. And third one is called as Vogel's approximation method, called as VAM technique. If we choose the first one, you can get a solution easily, but it will not be never near to your optimum. If you are going for the first method, okay, you have to try many iterations in the second part for getting a solution. Okay, if you are going for the last one, you will get a better or best initial feasible solution, so that in the optimum solution you don't need to work much hard. Okay, I can't guarantee you always. I can't guarantee you that. Sometimes even VAM also some multiple iterations you have to go for the second part. Okay, but while compared to the northwest corner rule result, VAM will give you a better basic feasible solution, so that your job in the second part will be minimum. So again, in the optimal solution, there are two techniques you can apply. One is called stepping stone method or next one is called modified distribution method. In short, it is called as MODI method. Okay, so both are similar process only. Okay, so what they will do is that we will try to find the solution by using these three methods, initial solution, and then we will apply this modified distribution method to check whether your solution is optimal or not. And then we will modify the problems, that is how a maximization problem can be converted into minimization, or if your objective is of a maximization type, is it able to solve by using transportation problems, etc. We will see in the coming classes. Okay, so any doubts or
Sir,
any
one doubt, sir.
discussions?
Sir, one more doubt,
Yes,
sir.
please.
Sir, if I consider a matrix of only like x11, x12, x13, like that, 3 cross, yeah, 4 cross 3 matrix I consider.
Ah,
Okay, then like I differentiated the minimum z function with respect to x11, x12, x13 each. Okay. Then that differentiation I subtracted from each x1, x11 in each iteration. So I can gradually decrease the x1.
yeah, you can, but it is a still complex process. Okay, these are much easier process than the differentiation, etc.
Okay.
Okay, so these are much simple and powerful results you can able to obtain. Okay.
Okay.
So differentiation, everything you have to make assumptions, etc. So it makes the problem little complex. So these are just solving by using these methods. The complexity will be very minimum.